But Trump's inauguration had plenty of moments that got everyone talking, some hilarious, others eyebrow-raising. Let's break them down.
The golden age of America begins right now.
First up, Melania Trump's outfit. Social media didn't hold back, comparing her look to everything from Zorro to the Hamburglar.
After this, we're gonna play Who Wore It Better, me, Melania, or the Hamburglar.
And, of course, she pulled her classic move, dodging her husband's kiss. Is it even a Trump event without one of those moments? Then there was Mark Zuckerberg, whose wandering eyes couldn't escape the internet's notice. It seems Lauren Sanchez managed to distract him for a moment, and probably made Priscilla Chan roll her eyes. The viral moment just got juicier. Less than 24 hours after, the Meta CEO has been busted liking one of her sultry Instagram snaps. The photo, taken at the Starlight Ball where Sanchez dazzled in a peach Dolce & Gabbana gown, sent the internet into a frenzy, with fans roasting Zuck for his not-so-subtle double tap. And let's not forget the meme-worthy reactions of George W. Bush. Whether it was his hilariously confused expressions during Trump's speech, or that iconic laugh at Obama's joke, the internet couldn't get enough. It was like Bush was starring in his own comedy sketch. To make it even better, a lip reader suggested that Obama leaned over and asked Bush how they could stop what's happening during Trump's inauguration, which apparently was all it took to send Bush into a fit of laughter. Classic Obama charm. But the most jaw-dropping moment? Elon Musk's Roman salute.
My heart goes out to you.
The internet exploded, comparing it to a salute used by a certain infamous German party. While some were quick to defend it as a nod to ancient Rome, history tells a slightly different story. The gesture actually traces back to Jacques-Louis David's painting, The Oath of the Hirashi, 1784, and was later adopted by some rather infamous regimes, not exactly the Roman Empire. Whatever Musk's intent, the implications of such a gesture are hard to ignore and carry weight that's impossible to justify. Moving on to Carrie Underwood's performance. Oh boy, this one didn't go as planned. Technical difficulties left her standing in awkward silence for almost 2 minutes before she had to sing America the Beautiful a cappella. Kamala Harris's reaction in the background? Priceless. But what really got people buzzing was Carrie's post-performance snub. She shook hands with Biden, Trump, and new VP J.D. Vance, but skipped over Kamala Harris, who was standing right there. Awkward much? Twitter lit up, calling out the disconnect between her unity message and her actions. Sure, maybe she was flustered, but not exactly her best moment. Speaking of Kamala, her husband, Doug Emhoff, had a standout moment too. When J.D. Vance got a little ahead of himself, Doug politely told him to wait. Now that's chivalry in action. Even Barron Trump couldn't escape the internet's attention. While he looked solemn throughout most of the ceremony, one moment had everyone talking. A hilarious video where he crashed a group photo of Ivanka and Tiffany Trump.
That's the best. Okay, that's better.
Classic youngest sibling energy, right? Always finding a way to steal the spotlight. And if that wasn't enough, a viral post edited his photo to make him look ridiculously tall, sparking endless memes. Poor kid just can't catch a break.
And then I have a very tall son named Barron. Has anyone ever heard of him?
And then there was Hillary Clinton, who couldn't help but laugh during Trump's speech.
A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president.
Meanwhile, Kamala Harris's poker face in response said it all. She's probably already over it. Now, it seems awkward moments follow Trump wherever he goes. Let's take a look at some of his weirdest moments together.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
Take, for example, Sharpie Gate. As Hurricane Dorian was approaching the U.S., Trump tweeted that South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Alabama would be affected. This apparently caught guys in Alabama off guard, leading them to prepare for the worst. But the National Hurricane Center jumped in with a tweet clarifying that Alabama will not see any impacts from Dorian. Talk about a whoops moment. But Trump wasn't ready to concede defeat just yet. 3 days later, he gathered reporters in the Oval Office, proudly holding up an NHC map that had mysteriously been altered with a Sharpie to include Alabama. As reporters looked on in confusion, Trump pointed to the map like it was a masterpiece of art.
And you see it was going to hit not only Florida, but Georgia. It could have was going toward the Gulf. That was what was originally projected.
And he didn't flinch when the Sharpie incident came up at a press conference.
Sorry, and that map that you showed us today looked like it almost had like a Sharpie. Right?
I don't know.
And thus, Sharpiegate went down in the annals of history. Next, we've got Hurricane Harvey. After the storm, Trump and Melania visited Texas to meet with FEMA officials and first responders. Trump insisted he wasn't there to talk about himself. How humble. But then he couldn't resist patting himself on the back.
Thank you, everybody. What a crowd, what a turnout.
Yes, because when people are recovering from a natural disaster, they just can't wait to hear about the president's fabulousness. And let's not forget Hurricane Florence, which Trump described with a uniquely poetic flair that had everyone scratching their heads.
This is a tough hurricane, one of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
Then, there was that visit to Israel's Holocaust Museum, Yad Vashem. After signing the guest book, Trump wrote, "It is a great honor to be here with all of my friends. So amazing, plus we'll never forget." Because nothing says solemn remembrance like a happy exclamation and a smiley face. People couldn't help but compare it to President Obama's much more thoughtful entry.
There were numerous lines, so well written, so thoughtful. So thoughtful.
Speaking of bizarre, who could forget the infamous glowing orb moment? Trump, the Saudi king, and the Egyptian president posed for a photo while touching this mysterious glowing orb. Seriously, what was going on here? Was it a new form of diplomacy, or just one of the most awkward photo ops ever? The memes that followed were nothing short of legendary. You'd think someone on his team would have caught the potential for a viral disaster, but instead, we got this gem of a moment.
Getting a good picture, everybody, so we look nice and handsome and thin.
Also, let's not overlook his awkward handshakes. First, he held hands with British Prime Minister Theresa May like they were on a kindergarten field trip. Then, he avoided shaking hands with German Chancellor Angela Merkel, leaving everyone wondering if he was playing a game of hot potato. But the crown jewel of awkwardness was the 26-second power handshake with French President Emmanuel Macron. It felt like they were trying to break a world record for the longest handshake. Someone get the Guinness Book on the line.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
And who could forget covfefe? Trump tweeted, despite the negative press covfefe.
I hear covfefe.
Yes, that's right. No one knew what it meant, but it instantly became a word for the ages. Even Trump couldn't resist joining in on the fun. When reporters asked White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer for some clarity, his answer, well, it didn't exactly bring the clarity they hoped for.
No, I think the president and a small group of people know exactly what he meant.
Oh, okay, Spicer, thanks for clearing that up. Now, we can't forget his Halloween visit to the Oval Office. When he welcomed reporters' kids for a candy photo op, he took a moment to insult their parents.
I cannot believe the media produced such beautiful children.
And then he made a weird remark to the children who were eating sweets.
Who likes this? And you have no weight problems. That's the good news, right?
Oh, what a nice compliment for a kid, isn't it? And about that solar eclipse, there's one simple rule. Don't look directly at it. But did that stop Trump? Nope. He stared right at the sun, while everyone else was trying to protect their eyes. At least he eventually put on protective eyewear. Better late than never, right?
I am the chosen one.
And finally, in a plot twist worthy of a soap opera, we have the infamous Stormy Daniels saga. You'd think a US president would have bigger fish to fry. But in October 2018, Trump took time out of his busy schedule to troll an adult movie star over Twitter. Daniels claimed she had an affair with him back in 2006, and the drama unfolded from there. After a judge dismissed her defamation suit, Trump celebrated with a tweet saying, "Great, now I can go after Horseface and her third-rate lawyer in the great state of Texas." And Daniels didn't hold back, responding with, "Game on, Tiny." Just when you thought the drama couldn't get juicier.
I have such respect for women.
As this video comes to a close, I want to hear from you. What moment from Trump's inauguration stood out to you the most? And while we're at it, what's the funniest Trump moment you've ever seen? Let me know in the comments.